would make even more sense because we are saying young, famous, and African. It's not young, famous, and South African. So why are we expecting for all these people to have their lives centered around South Africa? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Iman, and today we have a kind of a special video, a new kind of video that I think I really want to get into. We're going to talk about the season 2 of the Netflix series Young, Famous, and African. And I wanted to do this video because last year for the first season I actually did a few videos on TikTok that people enjoyed, and since I spend more time posting and creating content for YouTube, I felt like it was better to actually put it on YouTube instead of TikTok. And it's also because that's the type of content I love to watch. Like, I love a good chit chat around shows, especially reality TV, because I watch reality TV. It's like, I know it's not the smartest thing to do, it's not the smartest type of TV, don't get me wrong. I do still watch very interesting documentaries, etc., things that make me grow mentally, but I also have this guilty pleasure of watching ratchet reality TV and all of that. Like, favorite shows of mine are like The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I think I also used to watch the New York Housewives a little bit, but Atlanta is definitely the star cast to me, the star franchise. I also like the Love and Hip Hop, New York, Atlanta. I think there's also Miami, but I barely watch Miami. I watch Hollywood. Miami, I think, is the weakest one. And then I also like Basketball Wives, for example. So I'm not saying that I'm going to do that for every episode, but I think like a recap at the end of the season is nice. So for in this video, since it's Young, Famous, and African, and it's on Netflix, so we get all the episodes at once. So I was able to watch all of them together, and now I can give you, like, we can talk about it, see how we feel, see how it has evolved from the first season, because I had a lot to say for that first season, and I still have a lot to say about the second season. So I did take some notes because I think we're going to go over the characters, like the people involved, the storylines, and finish with my overall opinion, especially comparing it to season 1. But before, if you're used to my channel, you know I also put a lot of content about fragrances. So I always start my videos asking, what's your fragrance of the day? My fragrance of the day today is Deja Vu White Flower by Kayali. So it's a white floral heavy fragrance. It kind of lean a little mature, but I feel like it's getting better with time, like the juice darkens. It's very sophisticated. I'm not a big white floral fan, but this one is growing on me. It has also a note of like peach or nectarine, one of the two. And I actually layered this because coming out the shower, I sprayed Velvet Petals by Victoria's Secret, so a sweet floral with that on top, pretty nice. So let's jump into the video. Put me in the comments what is your scent of the day, and any other comment you may have because about the series, of course, because this is the topic of the video. Let's go. So first, the cast members. We had actually all cast members from last season returned, and then we had, I think, three additional characters this season. So we had, of course, Kanye. So to me, Kanye, she was introduced as like the top lady almost of the cast since season 1, even still to this season. It kind of almost starts with her, like all the episodes. So I feel like she has that feeling that she's the top bitch pretty much in the cast. But besides that, I feel like we don't really hear much about her, especially this season. Last season I feel like she had a lot of drama. This season I feel like she doesn't have a lot of drama, but she inserts herself in other people's drama. Then of course we had the infamous Idibia. I mean, I don't know what to say. She had drama with her bestie Zary. She fell apart from a lot of other cast members this season, and she had another like issue with her, a rumor about her husband having a baby again, which, I mean, is that any news? I feel like at this point it happens. It will happen every season pretty much. Then we have Zary. Zary, I feel like I liked her a lot better this season compared to last season. Last season, I feel like she was bullied a lot. Like, I feel like they really were picking at her, but I feel like this season they found someone else to really pick at. So this season she was not so drama filled as last season, and I think overall she's a character that I like. I don't think she has much to offer to say, but she was less dramatic this season than she was last season. Andile, I think he was more interesting this season than last season, because this season we saw him a lot with Annie, and we also saw him a lot with the storyline with his baby mamas, which was also very interesting. Nadia, last season she had drama a lot with Zary, and this season she was kind of in the background. She's in a new relationship, etc, etc. So she was less interesting, I feel, this season compared to last season. She didn't really have much involvement, and even last season I think there was a point where she traveled, so she was pretty much gone for a few episodes. Then we have Zary. I feel like Zary was definitely more involved this season compared to last season, because last season one of my major complaints was that we really didn't hear or see a lot of him, and like actually him, besides him sticking up for Annie. I wanted more of him. I feel like this season maybe we got a little too much of him. And then we have Diamond. Diamond, same as last season. He's pretty transparent to me. Yes, he's a superstar, but like half the time he's not even there. He leaves episode like 3 and he comes back last episode. So I mean, at this point I don't even know why he's part of the cast, and the storyline is really like pretty much the same as last season, but with just another girl. Then we have Naked DJ and his girlfriend. I think her name is Kylie, something like that. Kaylee. He's okay. I don't find him interesting. I feel like she's very boring. I feel like she's really part of the cast because she's his girlfriend, but she has no added value, to be honest. And then the new cast members, we have Louis, who is from Namibia, if I remember correctly. We have Fontana, the Ghanaian girl, and then the last, of course, is Bonang, which is a superstar. So for me, and I remember last year when I did my video on TikTok, a lot of people were saying they should add, because I had a video where I said they should add to the cast to spice it up, and somebody commented, a few people actually commented that they should add her to the cast. And I feel like she was a good addition to the cast, especially because she had like history with some other cast members, especially with Nadia, because Nadia's boyfriend at the time of the shooting of the show, he's actually Bonang's ex. Well, now in the present time, of course, he passed away. We all know he was like a famous South African rapper. He passed away. So back then, when when the show was running, it made sense. Now it's very sad news for all the cast members, I'm sure. So I think if she returns next season, it will be interesting to see the dynamic that she now will have with Nadia. So now let's go to part 2, the interesting part, all the storylines. Let's talk about these storylines, because some of these storylines really made no sense. So the first thing I want to say, and I think that's like one of the main issues I still have with the show, it's the main issue I had last time, it's that it does not feel genuine at all. It really feels forced, because first of all, to me, when I saw Young, Famous and African, I was expecting something that would be done around Africa. because we have cast members from Nigeria, we have cast members from South Africa, from Namibia, from Uganda, and from Zimbabwe, I believe. So we have, and now from Ghana. So we have cast members from different countries. So the fact that it is shot only in South Africa, I think it's problematic. Not in the sense that I expect everybody to be South African, or in the sense that I don't like South Africa. No. I feel like if we're having a reality TV and we are having, for example, Nigerians, I would like to see them evolve on their ground, pretty much. I would like to see them more in their daily lives. When it's done like this and they are moved to South Africa just during the shooting period, pretty much, it's almost like, you know, when you have Big Brother and they bring all of them in a house, it's the feeling I get. So it's so disingenuous. It feels like they are being forced to be together. They don't, to me, they don't even know each other like that. Now, season 2, of course, they know each other better than they did season 1. But season 1, it just felt so forced and very much uninteresting to me. To me, in a reality TV, what I like to see, yeah, sure, I like to see interaction between the cast, but I also like to see people evolving in like their daily activities. I feel like what's really missing from this show is that they don't have real storylines outside of the show. We don't see them with their businesses. We don't see them doing with their a little bit with their family, more this season than last season, but I would like to see them even with outside friends, you know. So I feel like that's really the main part that I'm missing, and that makes all these storylines very forced to me. So one thing that comes with that is that, for example, when at the beginning of the show, they will tell you, we have not seen each other in a year, which is normal. It means they're not really friends. Some of them don't even live in the same country. So how would they even have like interactions together? So that's how to me, I expect when we have a new season, especially when it's like a year apart from the previous one, I would expect that all drama that was pending in the last season will be kind of resolved, and we will move into new drama, pretty much. Like when I watch the Housewives, they always have the reunion, they have a wrap-up, and when the new season starts, some of the previous drama is sorted because we see stuff on social media, etc., etc. And then when they start a new season, there's new drama that's already unfolding. That's what I was expecting. So when we start this season and we still have that beef between Diamond and Ndile, which to me is not even a real beef. It's really, it was lame. It was very unnecessary. It was really not that deep, which is why when they had like their reconciliation, I was like, okay, that's cute, but really there was no beef really to start with. They just needed a storyline. So that was one of the storylines. To me, that was so season 1. We did not need this to be dragged into season 2 because it was so small. Then second storyline, and that was apparently the major drama of this season, is Annie and Zary falling. That was also a weird, unnecessary beef to me, because it's something that could have been solved within themselves in Nigeria over there. Although I have to say that it's beef that started, it was not beef from last season, it's fresh beef, I would say. So that, in a sense, that was good, but again, I felt like this storyline was unnecessary, because it's literally like, what I would have liked is for us to be in Lagos and actually seeing that event, for example, that created the drama, and seeing them resolve the issue. And it's the same one. At some point, Zary mentions to Baba that he's like, but there's an issue with Annie, why didn't you call me? Or when there's like the rumor about the baby, he sends a voice note to Annie, and he says to Baba is his friend. To me, if Baba was really his friend, he will call him directly when there's an issue with Annie and he needs like somebody to like mediate them. Or when he hears the rumor about the baby, especially when he's not talking to Annie, why would he send the voice note to Annie? To me, he would call his friend directly. So that was very weird. And on that two Baba baby drama, I feel like from what they said, it's something that has been going on for 8 years. I feel like it's a rumor that happens almost every year at this point. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's not true. I just feel like it's a storyline that's pretty tired. We would have liked something else. And for the same thing. Like if it's at some point Annie mentions that it's an issue that's been going on for like 8 years and this person apparently sells it to the blog every year. If you know that, why would you fly back to Nigeria, solve it, come back, and then 2 days later your husband and children come? To me, that whole thing would have been more interesting if they had been in Lagos and we could see the, I'm not saying that we need to see the whole discussion they are having as a couple, that's crazy, but kind of the atmosphere around it. That's what I would have preferred. This feels, again, it feels very forced to me, very like constructed, I would say. Then another storyline, it's Fantana and Diamond. I feel like Fantana pretty much, she needed a storyline, so they were like, okay, we'll get you with Diamond. But the thing is, Diamond is like, that's the storyline they gave Nadia previous season, and then Diamond was barely in the show, so there was little to nothing, close to nothing she could even say. And what killed me is when she went to his house and they started kissing and whatever, and then a few days later she met with Zary and she said that she's not his girlfriend because apparently because she thought he was married. And I'm like, so but you had no issue being at his house, kissing and all of that, going on a date, and then you tell us that you thought he was married, and then at the end of the show when they tell you he has a girlfriend, you say it's not true because he told you he doesn't have a girlfriend. Like, make it make sense, ma'am. You know damn well that's not a relationship, so why would you embarrass yourself like that? So that also, that's what created that other storyline that she may have had, her fighting with Zary. I feel like that fight at the end was so unnecessary. She was really super aggressive. I don't even understand why she was that aggressive. She was like age shaming Zary. She, like, I really did not understand her at that point. Like at first when she joined, I really enjoyed her. I felt like she was a breath of fresh air, but I was like, are you like stigmatized by diamonds or something? Because she was not making any sense. Then we had the fight between Louis and Bonang. I feel like this was like a complete misunderstanding. This was completely unnecessary again, because clearly he did not say it was his fault. It was her fault, sorry. He said it was his fault and he wanted to apologize. Then she made it into something that was huge, and for that to be the reason why she quit the show or something, I felt like that was very weird. And that's what also then created everybody almost like ganging up on him and feeling like he was thirsty. Well, at first I was like, yeah, he's super thirsty, he's like jumping on everything, but then I understood why he was acting this thirsty. So this was not really necessary, and I think also maybe Bonang needed a storyline, because besides that, I don't think we heard much from her. Then we went into some type of Annie hate train where everybody started to realize that Annie was not their friend, she was this, she was that. I'm like, but that's what you all did to Zary last season. Then from the Annie hate train, we went into a Bonang hate train, and I was like, okay, do y'all share a brain? Because apparently if somebody hates one person, everybody's going to hate that person. Then there was the whole surrogacy drama, which I didn't get, because clearly it was just Kanye starting drama because she didn't understand what the guy was saying. And in any case, I don't even know like why they were so pressed about Zary's eggs. Like Jerry telling Louis, oh, it's this surrogacy situation is poisonous. First of all, it's none of all of their businesses, and why would that even be such a huge issue for all of the group to get together and like attack him? I didn't get that. That was giving me very much bully vibes, and I didn't like it. Then we had the short-lived Fantana and Louis. I think that was also because they needed a storyline. They were like, a new hot guy, a new hot girl, okay, have you go on a date and we'll see what happens. But that was pointless. They clearly did not even, I think they didn't even like each other like that. But I think what was awkward for me is when Fantana got mad at Louis for supposedly asking Zary's eggs, yet she was all over diamonds. I'm like, but ma'am, you have no rights. Like, you have no rights to be mad at him for that. Then the next storyline we had was Andile and his baby mamas. So let me just start by saying his baby mamas are gorgeous. Like, both of them are like they are 15 out of 10. Like, they are drop dead gorgeous. But I don't understand why they are running after him like that. I'm not like, I don't know him personally, so I cannot know if he's like a good or a bad person, but from what they are saying, he's not that great. So for the fact that both of them are like ready and willing to go back to him, especially Rosette, I was like, you're too pretty of a lady to be acting this thirsty. Like, no, like, really, no. Then last point was Kaylee and Quentin with what is a trailer engagement? Like, what the heck is that? Like, who made this up? And that was just like, they were just dragging this whole situation, because even last episode they had another moment like that. I'm like, people, you're in a relationship, fine. You don't want to get engaged, fine, but don't drag us into every other episode making us believe that you're getting engaged. And I'm like, I feel for this girl, because I'm thinking she must be exhausted of this drama, because he's not a child. If he doesn't want to get married, y'all just agree that you don't want to get married. If she's okay with that, y'all continue, but don't put us into this mess, because it was very unnecessary. Like, I was like, who made this thing a trailer engagement? What are we in high school? Are you going to give her a promise ring? Like, even if you tell me I'm giving you a promise ring, that's better than we're having a trailer engagement. What is a trailer engagement? Like, the girl could not even explain that to her family or anybody, any of her friends, barely to the people that were there. They didn't even understand what was happening. So yeah, I think that couple, I mean, I wish them the best, but I don't know. This is so weird. It feels like they're going in two different directions. She wants something and he wants something else. I just hope for her that he will get to her level sooner than later. But yeah, this season was So if I am to give my overall opinion about season 2, especially comparing it to season 1, I feel like well, I think the fashion was better. Of course, Zary was always serving looks. I feel like Zary was serving look. He didn't care where he was going, but I mean, it's also his job. That's his whole brand. I wish I would see how many bags he packs, because I always feel like what he's wearing is super heavy, to be honest. The fashion was better. That's for everybody, even from like for Zary, because Zary had some questionable looks previously. Annie also she still has some questionable looks, because sometimes she wants to go too high fashion and it just doesn't work. Like that look she had, was it a strip club or something? I was like, nah ma'am, that is not cute. But the fashion was better, the hair and the makeup was better. Yes, thank God we did not have any other wig issues. The wigs were secured. They were looking a lot more flawless. We didn't see the laces as much, so that was good. I feel the storylines were still messy. I feel the overall setting was giving very fake. I really wish, like, if there was one thing that I feel like would improve the quality of the show a lot more, is for them to actually film in other places rather than just South Africa. For example, Diamond leaves for half the season, let's say, because he's on tour and whatever. I would have loved for the show to follow him at least at like one stop and have his friends join him at that stop to see what his work is about, what it's like to be on tour, etc, etc. That's what I would have liked. I would have liked for us to go to Lagos to see how it's unfolding between Annie and her husband, or Annie and Zary. I would have liked for us to go to Namibia and see what Louis's work is. So I feel like if we, and it would make even more sense because we are saying young, famous, and African. It's not young, famous, and South African. So why are we expecting for all these people to have their lives centered around South Africa when a lot of them are also not South African? So I feel like it makes it very difficult to believe. And I know it's only season 2, and I feel like at this point reality TV has been around for so long, and it's also Netflix, so Netflix has money. It's not like it's not like me shooting with a tripod. Like Netflix has money. Netflix has teams around Africa. I'm sure Netflix has teams in Nigeria. Like, I would have liked, really, for even when they take a trip, I would have liked for one of the trips to be somewhere outside of South Africa. I feel like that's the main issue I still have to this day with the show. And I feel like if they were to improve that, it will improve the overall quality of everything, whether it be the storylines or like, yeah, the quality of the show. I feel like that's really what's missing for it to be a good show. To me right now, it's just mild. So tell me what you think about the show. Have you watched the season, or both seasons actually? Have you watched season 1? Have you watched season 2? What's your opinion on season 1? What's your opinion on season 2? On all the drama that unfolded this season, on the new additions to the cast? Let me know what you think. Let's talk in the comment. I love to chit chat about topics like this. And definitely I think I will continue making these type of videos because I really enjoy this kind of topic. It's all part of pop culture, I would say. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.